Evening, everybody. Welcome to Tit for Tat, Dis and Dat. I'm Alvin, part of the duo Charles and Alvin for our channel. Charles is not here today. He will be here tomorrow when we go live at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Today, I am going to be making apricot fried pies in a wrought iron skillet. And I'll talk a little bit about our show for tomorrow while I fry these pies. But first, I'm going to clean off this counter because this is where I'm going to roll my dough. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to the sink and I'm going to put a little bit of this pine saw into this sink, and I'm going to wipe off this counter so we can get any type of germs or whatever's on there off before we roll that dough. Now, what I've done is I've already made the dough. And I've already made the apricot filling. And so here's the apricot filling right here. And then I'll give you the ingredients to that. And I'll also give you the ingredients on how to make the dough. It takes about 2 hours for that apricot to cook down into like a little mush so you can put into your pies. Here is what I used for the apricots. They are Tom Thumb's Signature Select brand, and that's dried Mediterranean apricots. It was 32 ounces, which is 2 pounds. Okay, so that's what I used, and I will give you the ingredients to everything else. But first, I'm going to clean off this counter here so we can get ready to go. I got 2 rags here. One is for that I'm going to use to wipe off the counter with the pine saw. And then I'm going to take dishwashing liquid and clean all that pine saw off so we don't have a pine saw smell in our pies. But this will help sanitize the countertop. So bear with me here for a minute while we do that. And so our show for tomorrow is going to be on aging and ageism in the Black, gay, lesbian, bi, trans, straight, LMNOP communities. And that will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Sunday evening, and we will be live. That was my dog you heard barking in the background. That's Brindle. He's 15 years old. So maybe we'll do ageism in the dog community. No, I'm kidding. In the animal community. Okay, so then I took and wiped that off. So now I'm going to just clean that countertop off with some dish liquid, and that'll help get that pine saw smell up out of there. And so let's do that. Maybe I'll let it dry. I'll go over this a second time too, just to make sure we did get everything. We don't want to be catching salmonella, foot and mouth disease, gangrene, any other ailment. No. So I'm going to do this one more time. And countertop should be nice and clean. We'll let it dry, and then I'll go over these ingredients Okay, we'll put that there. So here is my pie dough right here. I've already prepared it while the apricots were cooking. I made the dough, and I had it in the refrigerator. I let it sit in there for an hour because that seems to help it make the dough a little bit, the pie crust a little bit flakier. Sometimes it don't turn out right, and the whole thing will fall apart in the damn skillet. Sometimes it's a hit or miss. So here is my instructions. I got this from my mother when she used to make these when we were little. And I think the earliest I remember her making them was, I think I was about in the 3rd grade. And me and my friends, once she had them, she'd have them piled up, just cooking them, piling them up on a big old plate. And then we'd come in and get one. And then as soon as she turned her back and wasn't in the kitchen, we'd run in and sneak and grab some more, because they are delicious. Okay. So for the pie crust, what I did for that dough that's rolled over there, I did 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 3 to 4 tablespoons of cold water, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of Crisco shortening, okay, half a stick of butter, and I cut those into little squares, okay, an egg. I have 2 eggs actually. 1 egg was for the dough. The other one is for an egg wash. Okay, and then 1 and 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Okay, and then we'll go over the filling in a minute. So what I did for that flour, not the flour, for the dough, I mixed all the ingredients together, put them all in there. I put the flour and stuff in first, and then I took the I put the flour in there first, and I took the eggs and I put them in a bowl, and then I took the buttermilk and the eggs and I cut them and stirred it all up with a whisk until it was nicely bubbly, whatever. And then then I took the bowl. I had the flour in there. I put the shortening in there. I put some salt in there, and then I put some. But I put the butter and the Crisco. Here's the Crisco. The butter is already in there, and I put the stick back in the refrigerator. And then I put a little bit of the salt in there, which I actually mixed the salt in also in the egg mixture, but I still had a little bit in the flour. Okay, and then I took in that, then I kneaded the flour all up in the dough, made it a dough ball, and then I took the egg mixture and with the buttermilk, and then I poured it into first I took about 3 teaspoons of cold water and put in the bowl of flour to mix it all up, to start making it a little soft so I can knead it a little bit. And then I took the egg mixture and with the buttermilk, and then I poured it into the bowl, and then I just kept stirring it till it kind of got a little bit, thicker. And then I just, took my hands and then I kneaded it into a ball. Okay, so that's for the egg mixture. Not the egg mixture. That's for the pie crust. Okay, so we have our rolling pin right here. We'll put that right there. Let's see if it'll stay and not roll off onto the floor. Okay, here's where I measured my flour. Okay, I don't need that anymore. Okay, here's where I measured the buttermilk. I don't need that anymore. Put those in the sink. Okay, and let's see. And then the rest of this stuff here will be for our, I'll show you what we did for. I did add sugar to the, here's the flour, here's the sugar. I did add that to the flour mixture for the dough. And we'll go ahead and put our lemon juice down here. Vinegar, cornstarch. This is stuff that I use for, I did put vinegar also in that flour mixture. We got some cinnamon. We got some pure vanilla extract. Here's the buttermilk. I don't need that anymore. I can really put that in the refrigerator. Here's the vegetable oil that we're going to fry those pies in. Okay. I got a little brush here. This is going to go for the egg wash. I haven't made the egg wash yet, but I will. We got a little brown sugar here that goes with our filling. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute. Okay. Here's our little saucer that we're going to take those little pie shells with. I got a fork. And I got a little knife. Little butter knife there. And I have some bread here. I'll put this here because we're going to take a piece of bread and put it and test it inside the skillet to see if it's hot enough for us to start frying our pies. So I'll go ahead and just toss that there. So that's everything that we needed for the pie filling and the dough. Now this is cleaned off. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this and I'll sit it here. And I'm going to take this flour and I'm just going to put a little bit of, spread it out like that. Now, this is not the professional way to cook or bake. I'm a little ghetto, I told you before. So I kind of do things a little different than most people. Most people are a little bit more organized than this. And they actually know what they're going to say. I'm just kind of bouncing all over the place, but you know, the pie should come out nice and tasting delicious, regardless how you get to it in the eating. And then I'll put the instructions in the video. I'll upload them there a little bit later. Okay, so we got our flour. Now, what I'm going to do is, my hands are clean, so if I start touching this thing, I'm going to have to rewash my hands. So I'm going to get a little bowl out of here so I can make the egg wash. Actually, I'm just going to put it in this right here. Let me rinse this out, this measuring cup. And then I'm going to go in this refrigerator. And then I'm going to get out an egg. And I'm just going to take this egg, I'll just break it in there like that. And I'll go ahead and throw this in the sink and get to it later with these other dirty dishes down there. And I'm going to get my little fork here. And I'm going to just take a little bit of water. So I'll probably, let's see what I got here. I'll just take a little bit of this water here. Just to make a little wash. That should be good. It doesn't have to be enough. It ain't enough. We're just going to use this just to help bring down them edges and brush along the pie to help it stay filled when we're frying. Now, I know my mother was quite organized when she used to do the pies while she would hum and sing in the kitchen, but I ain't her. So I'm doing it the Bougetto way, I guess. Okay, so let me wash my hands. Try and get this dough out of here. Now, hopefully this dough rolls out nice. I mean, I have made these before, and Most of the time they do come out right. The dough comes out right, but there's times when it doesn't. And I have to start over. So now, here we go. Just checking on my little pie filling there. It's still warming. I still got it warming, warming there. And I'll just put that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dough. I don't want all of it because I'm not going to cook it all. I'm not going to fry it all today. Because I'm going to save some of that pie filling and I'm going to freeze it, and then we can do some more later. But here is the dough. So what I want to do is I just want to take a piece of that for right now. I can always pull more out. Okay. And I'm going to just kind of, you can take a little bit of the flour too if you want to, and just sprinkle it over. Some people have a little cup out and they just dip their hand in the flour and do like that. But like I told you, I'm ghetto, so I just do things the way. The way. Okay. So we can take that. Now what you want to do is just take a little bit of this. You can just put it on like that. You kind of want to do this real easy. Kind of like that. You don't want to press down too hard, but you just kind of want to roll and just keep doing like that until you can get it. Oh, it's a little, doesn't matter if it ain't rolled out properly in a perfect little round circle ball, because it ain't gonna do that anyway. But I'm just kind of lightly doing this. I don't want to press it down so hard that I tear up the pie shell in the end. So here we go. That should be good right there, I think. I can see my little butter pieces in there too. Okay, so I'm gonna take the saucer. This counter is clean, so we can put our silverware down there. So I'm gonna take this saucer, and then I'm just going to press it like so. Okay, and then let's see if I can lift it up. We can probably get about three of these out of here. Okay. I'll just kind of go a little bit around here with my knife. Let's see if we can get another one. Yeah, we can. Okay. And let's pull that up. These are my grandmother's china. We used to eat out of those when we was little, but only when she was having guests, or her and my grandfather were having a party or an event or dinner, or whatever. She didn't let us eat out of her good china. And they were made in China. So, right? But I had the whole set and the silverware up in that cabinet, and the silverware is down in there. Okay, if you can see this, here's what our little pie thingies look like. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to take this oil and I am going to turn on this stove, and it lit. And I'm going to take and put this oil in the wrought iron skillet. I'm not going to put all of it in there, but I'll put enough to fry that. We can have enough to fry on each side. Okay. And then I'm going to wash my hands again. And so that dough turned out pretty well. So hopefully it fries up good. If not, I ain't posting this video. So y'all can attack me. You're probably going to attack me anyway because of how I'm doing this all over the place. But all right. So while that's heating up, we got our egg wash. So I'm going to take this right here, and I'm just going to put that there. And we'll sit it like that for right now. And then I'll tell you the ingredients in this apricot puree, whatever you want to call it. So Here's my ingredients for the apricot filling. All right. We have 2 pounds of dried apricots. Okay, boil in a pan of water until soft. And that was probably about maybe about 2 to 2.5 hours actually. And then I had a half a cup of sugar, a fourth a cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now, when I made that, I filled that whole pot up with water, put the apricots in there, and then I put 1 teaspoon of lemon juice in there just so that can all cook in there together. And then I let that simmer all the way down until it was mushy. Okay. Once that was all cooked down, then I took the rest of the ingredients that I just read off and I put all of that in there, and then I just kept stirring and stirring, and I had a whisk and I was breaking down any little chunks or whatever, and then until it turned into like a puree or a meow, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and then here it is right here. I'm just going to get my little spoon here. Let me rinse this off, and then this should be done here pretty soon. So I'm going to take that, and I'm just going to take this little pot holder, and I'm going to sit that right here. And I'm going to stir this up a bit. And, this is what it looks like. And again, it has, go over it with you again. Again, it has apricots, half a cup of sugar, a fourth a cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then we mix all of that up in there. Now, you don't want to put too much filling in these pies, because they will run out and run over. So I'm going to take about that much right there. That should be good. And I'm just going to do like that in each one of them. Hopefully that ain't too much and it don't really run out. Some people put a little less and some people do a little more. But I guess it depends on how big your pies are too. Some people make bigger pies. This right here should be okay. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to take this little egg wash right here, and then I'm just going to kind of go around the edges like this. Some people, after their pies are done, they will take, here, let me do this, just so it don't stick. And then I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to fold that over like that. Now I'll just take my little finger like this, because then I'm going to take this fork and crimp that down. Let me do this one here. Let that sit there for a minute and see if it molds into there. There we go for that one. And then let's see what we got here. The pie crust, they seem to be doing all well. They're not sticking to the counter. So let's just do that. And then let me do this one right here. So we got 3 so far. We could probably cook all 3 in there at the same time. If not, we'll do 2. You don't want to put too many of them in there. And so there's that. And let's just take and turn that over like that. And I'll just do like that. So, because we don't want the thing. So then I'm going to take this fork and I'm going to also put it in there. And I'm just going to, here, let me pull this dough up. Because we're going to re-knead that and remold it or rebuild it or reshape it, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And then, so I'm going to take this fork and I'm just going to press down on this like that. It doesn't have to be too hard. Just enough to get these edges to stay crimped down. Because we don't want the pie filling to come all out into the skillet. Now, don't mean that it won't, but we don't want it to. There's some of it already dripping out on this one over here. But we don't care as long as it tastes good. Now these can last for about a week. Maybe if you keep them out and keep them covered, we'll put that in it. That's just some of the pie filling that came out. If you keep them covered with some like aluminum foil or plastic wrap or anything like that, you can keep them out for a couple of days, maybe 3 days at the most, but I would probably do 2 days. You can keep them out and just eat off of them. But then after, I would say after 3 days, put them in the refrigerator. Okay. You can freeze them too. All right. So then I'm gonna take this fork and I'm just gonna go like that, like that, like that. And then I'm gonna just probably just take this little egg mixture. Okay. And just brush it over a little bit like that. Just to, that might give it a better little flakier. Okay, I'm gonna go over here now and I'm gonna test this. This grease. Let's see how, if this bread does well, then it's time to get these pies fried. Okay, let me wash off my hands, just rinse them off a little bit. I don't know where that bag's been. Probably everybody and their mama touching it at the store. But okay, let's take a little piece of bread here. I'm just gonna take a little piece like that, and then we'll just do that. Probably feed that to my dog later. So I'm gonna put this in here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit. I'm gonna push this over just so it can cool off just a bit. I mean, it's ready, but I'm gonna turn it down just a bit. And I'm going to get, I don't want that one. Let's get the old. I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. Right in front of my blind face. All right. So I'm going to just take this bread out. Let's see how that did. Yeah, I left it in there too long, but that did a nice little brown. So our pies should come out okay too. Just put that right there. That is so ghetto. That is just trifling, as my mother would say. Just trifling. All right, so we got these little pies here. That's probably cooled off enough right there. I'm gonna push it right back over here, and we're gonna put our little pie in here. And be careful that you don't scald yourself, because I ain't taking you to the hospital. Well, maybe I might. There we go. We got one. I may just do two, so I'll just do two. That way, no, I can do three. I was gonna say so I can have room to turn them over, but I should be able to. Let's see what we're doing here. You really only have to cook them for a minute or not a minute or two. I don't know. So they brown on side. It could be a minute or 2 or 3, depends on how high your heat is. Okay, so there's that. So while those are doing that, I'll just put a little bit more sugar. I'll put a little bit more. There we go. A little bit more flour down here. Now you can use all-purpose flour, but if you use all-purpose flour, you might want to put some salt in it, a little salt, and some baking soda, so that it'll become self-rising flour. But if not, it'll still work without it. Yeah. So we'll do that, and then let's go over here and check our little pies. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. But I don't want to tear up my pie, so I'm gonna drop grease all over the damn place. So I am going to let's take my little egg mixture here to help me turn these over. Oh, that's a nice little brown. Little chocolate boy brown. There we go. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if I can let y'all see that. And this is my little plate over here where I keep stuff at. Put that back in there. And then let me see if I can let y'all see this. These little pies. Let's see. Now, don't y'all try this, because if you drop the grease and scald yourself, like I told you, I ain't got no insurance. So, no, I'm kidding. But that's what they look like. If y'all can see those or not. Ooh, they're almost with the grease. All righty. So there's that. And once those are done, now some people, then I can be done with the video, because then I can do the other ones without, I can do all the other ones, the ones I'm going to do without you all watching me. Let me rinse off my hands here, and then I'll take a little bit more dough. And again, like I said, here's what we used earlier. So I'll just put that in there, maybe take a little bit more, put with it. And then, and we'll just knead that back like that. And then I'll roll it back out again. And then you keep doing that until the dough is gone or your filling is gone, whichever comes first, the chicken or the egg. All right, so there's our little thing there. And let me check these little pies. But what I need to do is I need to get out a plate to put these on. All right, I'll take some paper towel. Let's just double them up here. And that helps soak up some of the grease. These taste really good, fresh and hot. But let's see what they look like here. There we go. There's one. There's two. Let's scoot that over a bit. And then here's three. Now y'all be careful around all this grease. And also it is grease, and that's sugar and all that other stuff. So if you have the sugar diabetes, like my grandmother and mother and them used to say, if you got the sugar, then eat this in moderation. Because if your ankles start swelling up and you get the cankles. So here we go. Here's our pies. There we go. And how's that look? Here's our pies. Now some people, they'll take icing and drizzle over it. Some take a little cinnamon and sugar and powder it over. Some take powdered sugar and do it. I eat it just the way my mother used to make it, just like this. So let's break one open and see what it looks like. There we go. There we go. Apricot fried pie. And the crust, Ooh, that's good. That's good. Oh, that's real good. Even though it's hot, it's still good. Ooh. I'm gonna sit that there. I ain't gonna let it touch the other ones because I was eating it. I'm gonna pull this heat over a little bit until I get ready to make some more. I'm getting ready to end this video. And let's see here. There's my fishies. If you want to see the fishies, there's the fishies. Let's see if we could zoom in some, see what they're doing. And there they go. Yep, let's go over here and see. I'm gonna give them a little bit of food. Let me get this flour off, and then I'll come back and make these other ones. Then let me feed them. They just took off. They'll be back. Okay, so I'm gonna give them some beef hearts. Here comes some of them right now. Shaniqua, Tyrone, and Maria Ana Gonzalez, they took off. Margarita and Becky with the good hairs, right here waiting to be fed. And that's enough. That's good right there. And my glow light tetras and my cardinal tetras. They're all out there eating. Sometimes discus fish can be a little bit timid, especially if you startle them and jump up on them. But most of the time, mine are okay. There they come back out. You know, watch that for a minute, and then I'll wash my hands here. Roll out me some more dough. There we go. And they'll come out and eat and fight each other, I guess. Anyway, but there's our apricot fried pies in a wrought iron skillet. And again, if you want to dust this, you can with powdered sugar, with cinnamon and sugar, or icing glaze, whatever you want to do to it. But when I get through, I'm gonna have a pile of these. And this will be for our dessert tomorrow when Charles gets here. So my son, let's see, Charles, myself, and my son will eat those. And then also tomorrow for dinner, we will be cooking pan-seared chicken, pan-seared Brussels sprouts, and baked potato. And I'm sure Charles will have a glass of wine or whiskey or something like that. You know, he likes to have a drink when he's here. I guess he thinks I'm his liquor store, I guess, and his grocery store, because he thinks every time he come over here, I gotta cook. So, but he's supposed to come over tomorrow a little bit earlier so he can help me cook before we go live tomorrow. And so, thanks for joining Tit for Tat. A little of this and a little of that. And we will see you tomorrow, or join us whenever you can. You know, if you can't join the live, come back and, you know, watch the video, like, share, and subscribe, comment. We like your comments. And you all have a good night. There we go.